Hello and welcome to this session of Python programming. Today we are going to discuss how to write to a CSV file. For that, the very first step would be to import the CSV module, which is built in into Python. And let us suppose we want to write this information about some students, their branch, year, and CGPA. And rows is a list which contains the student entries, and fields is a list which contains the header row for the CSV file. And let us suppose that the name of the file that you want to store as an example is agc.csv. Now, to write to this CSV file, we must first open it. Now, there is another way of opening a file with this syntax, with open file name and in write mode as CSV file. So, one way we learned that we first need to open a file through a file pointer, and then we must pass the file pointer to the CSV reader object. So this is another way of opening a file and connecting it to the CSV reader object. So when you open a file like this, then it starts a loop, and the loop runs as far as, as long as the file does not end. And you don't need to close the file also. As soon as the loop ends, the file is closed automatically. Now to write a single row, you use the method write row. And to write multiple rows, a list having multiple rows, you can use the syntax write rows. So I'll just now discuss this syntax with you, and after that I'll take up a case study of the movie review dataset that I've given to you, and we'll be writing a few queries in that, and we'll see how the file reading and writing with this CSV module works in Python. So let me open up a sample file for you now in Python, the example that we just discussed. So let's imagine that the same scenario is there, and this information needs to be written in a file agc.csv. Well, through messages, some of the students, they asked me that they were not able to, store this file, they were not able to read from a CSV file. So I want to share with you, while you are mentioning the file name, it picks up the default path. So this agc.csv file should be present in this Python 37 folder, C colon backslash Python 37. It's the location of this file. If I don't mention any path, if I mention a path here, for example, say if I write here D colon and like this, then this file would be created in D drive. I hope that you are clear with the path regarding the file name. So let's just run this program and see how it works. So obviously no message is there because the file has been created. Now we need to see that file. So let's go to that location on C drive, Python 37 folder. So you can see the AGC file has been created. So if you open this file, you can see that the information has been stored. But we also see that there is one blank line has been generated each time a record has been written. So how should we take care of it? So let's revisit our code, and let me write another argument here as, so I think this should take care of the blank lines that are being generated. Let's now once again go back to our this folder, and let's try to open the file. Yeah, now the problem has been solved. So you must provide, while you opening the file, an argument new line equal to uh, blank space. That should be given, because otherwise blank line would be generated after each record is written. Okay, so let me now take up another case study with you, the one that I have given you as a part B of your lab. So this is regarding, I've written this program, and there is a dataset hyphen movies.csv file. So I think let's visit that file now so that we understand what's there in the file. So let me just go to the folder where I've stored it. So I've kept it here itself in Python 37 folder. Name of the file is dataset-movies. So let me just open this file for you. So you can see this file contains a movie review dataset. the CSV file. The first column is the serial number. The next one is the name of the movie. The next one is the year of release. After that is the rating, and in the end is the duration of the movie in seconds. So it is 4,568 seconds. So this information is given in this file. So let's go to our program and see what analysis we can do with this. So I've opened a file with the same syntax here, but I've provided the file name in a variable file name. All right, and I've opened the file for reading. Okay, so and I've attached the CSV reader object here. Okay, and then I'm extracting each data row one by one. So for row in CSV reader, I'm appending all the rows to the list rows which I've initialized here. And since there is no header in this file, so I've not taken any header. Okay. Now I need to know that the first column of the file is the serial number, the second is the movie name, then is the year of release, then is the rating, and then is the duration. So if I just want to print how many total number of rows are there in the file, so I can use this syntax I discussed with you in my previous lecture. We'll see how it works out here. And then what I've done is I've printed the first 5 rows of the file. So this is the first 10 rows, I would say. Yeah, first say let's the first 5 rows. Okay. So for I in rows would pick up the first record in the list, and to pick up every value from that list which contains the serial number, then the movie name, year of release. I can take another loop like this and I can print it. So let me just run this for you and see how it works. So we can see that the total number of records in the data set is 49590, and then we display the information. And then the second part here, I'll discuss with you what are these outputs. I'll discuss that code with you. Let's concentrate on the first query. Now I want to find all the movies with a rating of more than 4.5. So rating as we see was the fourth column, so it is the third index, right? So all my this CSV file is in the list rows. So I'm going to parse through that using a for loop, and then I'll check. First of all, I must check since I'm going to check the rating which is greater than 4.5. So I must see that the rating is not null, because in a data set some values might be there which are null. So to check a cell for null value in a CSV file, we use this syntax. So kindly notice this is very important syntax, because otherwise your this matching would fail for a null value. You won't be able to compare a null value with a given value. So first you parse through the CSV file, then you check whether the rating is given, whether it is null or not. If it is not null, then you check whether it is greater than 4.5 or not. And then you write using the write row, which writes one row, the current the movie details which satisfies this criteria. I've initialized a count variable here, and then I have incremented it here every time this criteria is satisfied. So once we come out of this loop, the file with the name as rating.csv would be created in the default path, that is in the Python 37 folder, and it will also print on screen the number of records written in the CSV file. Okay. Similarly, I've taken another query, that is to find all the movies with a duration of more than 2 hours and release before 1985. So two conditions needs to be checked, and 2 hours would mean more than 7200 seconds. So I've matched it here with this condition, and year I've matched here. But before that, I must check that both the cells, that is the duration and the year of release, they are not null. So for that I've written this syntax. So I think you can understand this code on your own, and the same methodology, whatever row satisfies the criteria is written to the file duration.csv, and then the count is incremented to check how many records have been written. So if I now run this file, then again the same output is there, and it also tells me number of records in the CSV file are 0 and number of records written in CSV. So the first one did not return any row, the second one returns 102 rows. So let's see what we can do here. Uh, so there is nothing more than 4.5 rating maybe. Okay, let's change it to 4.4 and see whether we do get some results. Yeah, so 23 records are there which have a rating of more than 4.4, and 102 records are there of the movies which are more than 2 hours in duration and were released before 1985. We can also vary it a bit. Maybe I can make it 3 hours like this. Let's see how many records they get reduced. So now I'm checking for movies which are greater than 3 hours in length and which were released before the year 1980, before the year 1986, I think. Okay, yeah, before the year 1986. So let's run it now, and we see only 7 records are there. Okay, so let me go there and show you whether we have created these files or not. So let's open the rating file. So we do have the 23 records of rating of all the movies with which the rating is more than 4.4. So you can see 4.5 I think is the maximum rating that we have in the dataset. That's why the previous query didn't return any rows. And we can also open this file duration, which has got I think 7 records. So you can see. So like this, we can query our data set. We can query on anything. You should just understand how to write the queries, and I think it's very interesting. And now I think you can work on the part B of the application that you have, which starts with a certain CSV files, and you should work with the queries. And if any doubts, you can uh, message me, and I'll be discussing those doubts with you. That's all in this session, and thank you very much.